Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today, we have the start of the final season of our NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. Very excited to bring this last season to you guys. Last episode, we went over all the roster changes, minor schedule changes, as well as all the new paint schemes you'll be seeing this season here in the Career Mode. So, very excited to get this underway. I was showing my stats, but the stats were nowhere near correct of what we've actually done. So, I'm not actually sure what's going on with that. But jumping through into this season, of course, we have the NASCAR Legend Series, the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series. And we're not wasting any time. We're jumping into this season. We're not taking any breaks. We're going right to the end of this career mode. And then I have something special planned for the last episode, at least, of the career mode here in 36 episodes time. So stay tuned for that when we do get there, to be kind of a compilation, I think, of everything from our NASCAR Heat career mode in general, not from just Heat 5, but all the way down to Heat 4, 3, and 2 as well. So we'll come through starting the action for this 3-race weekend from Daytona with the Truck Series for the Next Era Energy 250 at Daytona, where we had subscriber Kenneth Barnett in the truck for us here today. Now, as he started at the back, as usual, we are always going to start at the back when it comes to Daytona. If you guys forgot, maybe from last episode, Daytona will now be on the schedule twice, once again in the Cup Series, so excited to bring you guys 2 races here again. It'll be, of course, today with the Daytona 500, as well as the regular season finale, similar to how they have that in real life now, as Kenneth, though, going down the back straightaway, found his way to the inside once again and just tried to make up as much ground as he could here on this inside line. But of course, not a lot of time to do much here at Daytona in the Truck Series, because there's just so few laps in this race here now. So he was making the most of what he could with the amount of time that he had. And of course, when we always start at the back of the field, it makes it even harder to work our way forwards and have a chance to win the opening Daytona race now, as I don't think we've ever won a Daytona race, at least to start the season in the career mode in NASCAR Heat 5. We haven't won a Daytona 500. Today is our last opportunity to win the Daytona 500 and really want to get a Daytona 500 victory here in our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. So today, of course, being our last chance to do it, we're going to be ultra aggressive and try to make that happen. So we come through very late in this race, though, actually, with Kenneth Barnett just continuing to move his way forwards. This was actually on the final lap of the race, and you can see he hadn't even gotten to the top 10, unfortunately, but makes it 3 wide there out of turns 4 down this front straightaway. Jordan Anderson going for the win at the front of the field as they came through the tri-oval. Kenneth would actually sneak into the top 10 just barely there, so a top 10 to start the season here from Daytona in the Truck Series. So actually pretty happy with that finish, and the winner would be Jordan Anderson over Max Gutierrez. Now, Gutierrez will still be running some truck races this season. As you guys know, he is also full-time now in the Cup Series in that 43 car, replacing the retired Eric Almirola. Now, some rookies, of course, to keep an eye on here today in the Cup Series, but now we jump through into the Xfinity Series here from Daytona. Now, some new faces in the Xfinity Series, and 2 big names come to mind immediately. One of those being Formula One legend Kimi Räikkönen. The guy at this point in the career mode is probably like 50 years old, but Räikkönen, we know the meme, he's never going to stop racing in F1. Well, now he's jumping over to NASCAR here by the time he becomes 50 years old. So we're going to see how we can do today. And as well, we have another F1 driver starting in the field today, and that would be Roman Grosjean, or should I say former F1 driver from the Haas F1 team, now actually races in IndyCar. And then Kevin Magnussen, as you guys know, has been in the field for like 3 seasons now. So Paul Menard behind the wheel of our car again. We decided to bring him back for one more season. It's the last season of the career mode. I didn't want to change things up too much for the Trucker Xfinity Series program that we have going, so kept Paul in the car as we went down into turn 3 on this opening lap. He started to make up some ground, just of course running this inside line, and I mean, it was favoring the 77 Menards going racing Chevrolet, and he just continued to move his way forwards now, and it was actually doing a really good job here working his way throughout the field, and you're going to see that throughout this race now, as he was now past the midway point of this pack. He had gotten past the 20 car there for JGR as he went down into turn 3 just behind the 9 of Sheldon Creed. Now Natalie Decker up there in the 47, up in the top 10 in the mix now. Paul just continuing to move his way forward. We're going to jump straight to the final lap of this race. Paul had actually gotten up inside the top 5, up into P4, making a pass on AJ Allmendinger up the inside on this final lap into turns 3. And look who we had out in front. In his first ever NASCAR race, Roman Grosjean up the inside of Ty Majeski, out of turns for Menard, trying to get there and run down the other Menard's car, but it's not going to be enough. Down the front straightaway, Roman Grosjean in his first ever NASCAR race will win in Daytona, and that really tells Joe Gibbs Racing right off the bat they made the right call to take a chance on him and put him in the car. And now Roman Grosjean is going to fight for a playoff spot and a championship potentially here later this season. Kevin Magnussen down there in P11 just beat Kimi Räikkönen there in the SHR 98 car. He replaces Tony Bradinger, who moved up into the Cup Series for this season in that 47 car now. So you saw the finishing order there. Now we come through into the Cup Series, and we're going to be running some throwbacks this season. And RJ, one of my moderators, made this throwback paint scheme. You're going to see another alternate version of this car, and that one was made by a community member of ours of Vixen. This is a throwback back to our, I think, NASCAR Heat 2 career mode, or maybe NASCAR Heat 3 with the Jamie McMurray #1 car that we used to run. So qualifying was really straightforward. We came through across the line, qualified 40th. Nothing we can do about it. So this was the qualifying order on your screen. Eric Jones in the McLaren all the way down there in P38. Of course, when it comes to plate races, qualifying order and just the racing order is not representative whatsoever of how these guys are going to run throughout the rest of the season at normal tracks. But Joey Logano on pole and Brandon Jones with the new AlphaTauri team qualifies P2 with DeBenedetto, Timmy Hill, and Brad Keselowski rounding out the top 5. Alright boys, I mean, last time we came here we weren't in contention really to win until late, so I don't see why we can't be in contention again late in this race today. So we know what to do, we know how to win these plate races. Last time we did the plate race we won, so let's go cap it off with the 500. There you hear myself on the radio just trying to end this final season of our NASCAR Heat career mode as a Daytona 500 champion. Our final chance ever in the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode today to win the Daytona 500. Anthony Alfredo, an engine change after qualifying, and Noah Gragson crashed during qualifying. So Alfredo and Gragson will start at the back of the field here as we get ready to go green now in this throwback paint scheme back to, I think, our NASCAR Heat 3 career mode now, as the Daytona 500 in our final season of the career mode is underway from P38 alongside the number 33 Money Lion Ford Mustang driver for Penske of Austin Cindric here as we make this long stretch down towards turns 1. The goal is simple: get as many points as we can in the stages. Last season we kind of struggled with this race in the Daytona 500. I mean, we struggled overall for the first about half the season, just about, where it took us 20 races to pick up a win last season. So we went on a 20 race winless streak, which I believe was the longest of our career out of turn. So you can kind of see a bit of a mistake right there. I got into the back of Gragson, lost some ground now, but fortunately we still had Alfredo behind me to actually give me a big push down this back straightaway towards turns 3. So hoping to see some more performance out of Alfredo this season, as well as you see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in that 6 car. Definitely expect to see better things out of him, as well as the 17 of Chris Buescher for that Roush LeBron Racing team. Now, as if you missed it, LeBron James, major investment, now has some ownership in Roush Fenway Racing is what it used to be called, but now Roush LeBron Racing. So expect to see that team get a lot better throughout this season as well, and maybe even be a playoff contender, and maybe sometimes race win contender now as we came through turns 1 and 2, closing in on the back of the number 1 car of Noah Gragson. He picked up his first career win last season, looking to have maybe a star season this time out, maybe get 4 or 5 wins. So now on lap 3, though, I actually look to the inside of the 1 car as we go down into turns 1. I was trying to be aggressive. I'm not trying to wait around. I want to get as many points as possible in these stages. Of course, we want to be up front as much as possible to be going for a potential victory, and there's no safer place in the field than at the front of the field. So we really want to get up there as quick as we can. We come to lap 4 now, and it was definitely taking a little bit to get up there now, as we were now 3 wide for a brief moment with our teammate of Alex Bowman. I saw Rajat Caruth there, and the 20 car on the far outside now as we come through to lap 5, looking at the inside of Austin Cindric, the same guy we started side by side with here at the beginning of this race as we come through turns 1 now. On this 5th lap, though, we're up into the top 25, so we're moving our way forward really consistently now, as we also got past the rookie of Ty Gibbs in that 11 car. Now, as to make a bit of a bold, aggressive move right there to the outside of our current draft partner there for the moment of the 19 of Harrison Burton. Now, an early playoff exit for him last season after being the regular season champion. It was very unfortunate for Burton to come up so short of a championship now, as we're going to look to the outside of that 17 of Christopher Bell and his brand new 17 car, moving over from Joe Gibbs Racing last season with that Roush LeBron deal. But now I was able to get down behind Christopher Bell because he was actually able to get back in front of me using that inside line. But I'm not wasting any time still. We're making it now 3 wide with Christopher here, as you see Ross Chastain in that 99 car for Trackhouse on the outside made that move over from the 47 from JTG to Trackhouse this season. Now down the back straightaway on lap 8, though, up into the top 20 here behind Christian Eckes in that 82 Red Bull. Definitely expect to see better things from them this season, as well as at the front of the field, the McLaren driver of Chase Elliott goes crashing. It's going to be a huge incident, up and over, a massive crash here to start the Daytona 500 on just the 8th lap of this race. A massive crash for Chase Elliott, and somehow he will continue in this race, but I did not see that coming out of nowhere. That was huge. Probably only a handful of cars crashed, but what a big accident that just was. Is I got a few different angles for you guys to look at here from my onboard camera specifically. Look how close we were to getting taken out in this. Right here, we're going to slow it down. You see Chase Elliott gets hit by the X Red Bull, and wow, they both go airborne. Elliott up and over, and then I nearly slam into the 10 car of De Benedetto. That could have been DNF's all the way around here. And I'm also going to show this camera angle right here, the rear view camera. What a crash that was. What a spectacular way to start this season. And as you guys know, with the ability to mod this game I have, I am also able to bring in driver injuries, and I'm not actually going to give Chase Elliott a driver injury because he would continue in this race. But now, once we got going for the restart, my car would not take off whatsoever, so all of the time we had just gained in the first opening 8 laps of the stage is going to get wiped for the majority anyways here, because we're going to drop way down the order. And I'm not sure if why I was so slow, because I don't recall getting hit after the caution, but somebody must have got into me somehow when that caution had come out. So that was very unfortunate, because now like we drop all the way down, and this is something we're used to. This has happened many times throughout the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode, and our only hope is this is something that doesn't end up happening maybe in a championship race. We've been very lucky. Obviously we came up just short in the last season for a championship now, as we were second in the Final Four order. Kyle Busch was able to pick up his 4th Cup Series championship and tie Jeff Gordon. So this season, he could beat Jeff Gordon's championship count and get his 5th title here. So we came through now to start the final lap of Stage 1. We were only up now to P28, just trying to work my way back forwards now in the closing moments of the stage. William Byron for the Earnhardt Johnson Racing Team out in front currently there in that 88 Liberty University Chevrolet Camaro. And you can see that a big checkup happens right in front of us, and we got into the back of the 20 car of Rajah Caruth, but we get a big push now from behind from the 19 of Harrison Burton. So one last push as we go down this back straightaway towards turn 3 for the final time. Now up the inside of that 41 of Brad Keselowski there. As you guys remember, he was the most successful driver for sure at SHR last season here, as we come through out of turns 4 down this front straightaway for the final time. Now we're going to make a 3 wide there with the 20 and the 10 of De Benedetto as we come through the trial. Well, we're not going to quite get past the 20 there as 10th place crosses the line, so we get P24 in this first and opening stage. So definitely some work to do. We know we have speed in the car, just that crash and everything set us back quite a bit there with the poor restart as well. So that was very unfortunate. But at the front of the field to win the first stage of the final season, it will be William Byron in that 88 Earnhardt Johnson Racing Team here. So I'm going to make some very slight adjustments there. I just put some grill tape on the car, and hopefully that will help us a little bit now with the draft and just with the overall speed of this car. Hopefully we do not overheat the engine, of course, as well now, as we're going to get ready to go green for the start of the second stage. Very easy pit call to make as well, with 2 cans of fuel and 4 fresh tires. We gain 2 spots, move up to P22. Todd Gilliland in that front row Mercedes drops 10 positions on the pit lane. Now as stage 2 is underway, and for the first time of the send-off NASCAR Heat 5 career mode season, we are going to get amped for the Daytona 500. there you have the AM segment now up into P21 after 2 complete laps in this second stage of the Daytona 500. Joey Logano, our rival there for that number 22 Penske Ford Mustang, leads the way in. I'm going to have a new paint scheme on that car made by Lation in the next episode. I can't wait for you guys to see that, and that will also complete the full field of mods. The 22 car is the only car that has not been modded in our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. That will finally change in the next episode, and in this final season, every single car will be modded. There's you see me hang out the 45-23-11 racing driver of Derek Kraus. Based off of preseason testing, I expect to see some big things from 23-11 this season, especially Red Bull as well, and McLaren for sure seems to be the top team coming into the season based off of preseason. Now, as we were 3 wide in the middle between my new teammate of Ryan Blaney and my own driver here for Going Racing of Daniel Suarez, now I was actually getting to the back of the 2 of Ryan Preece as we're in the middle, and he's going to go sideways. He makes a big save. Blaney goes into the wall. We hit him again in the left rear quarter panel out of turns 4. The 2 of Preece is actually going to go crashing down the front straightaway. The caution is going to come out. Blaney, the 99 of Chastain, and multiple other drivers involved. I think I saw the 12 of Chase Briscoe as well collected in that incident as a caution is out. Everybody, though, is going to be staying out of the pit lane, as we did pick up a little bit of visual damage on the car, but not performance impacting there. But I tried to get out of it there to make sure that 2 car didn't crash, and he had it saved, but unfortunately I caught him right in that left rear quarter panel, and that was all it took for him to just completely lose it out of turns 4. So that was very unfortunate, but either way we have to just focus forwards. And now once again we're only down or up in P27. It's not been the race we've been looking for so far here from Daytona. Now as we're going to get ready to take the green flag once again, and I was honestly kind of expecting the car to not take off on this restart like that last one earlier in stage 1, but fortunately this time the car actually gets going just fine, and now 5 laps remain in this second stage. So of course now we have quite a bit of work to do here, because with only 5 laps to go we're down to P26, and then it doesn't help when the inside line decides they're going to check up just horrendously here as we come through the center of the corner. Now, as I wasn't sure what was causing this checkup, I did see a big space between Bubba Wallace and the car in front of him, so I'm assuming that the 23 had some type of checkup. So now down the back straightaway on lap 10, we had actually gotten cleared by Elliott the lap before, and then I would actually pass him back into turn 3 now. So we were behind briefly the 3 of Austin Dillon there for Richard Childress Racing now, and we're actually kind of hooked up with him, pushing him through the field here as we came through. Now hanging him out though out of turns 4, approaching the final 2 laps of the stage. Lewis Hamilton up here in about P25 or so. Hamilton, I expect to see more performance out of that Mercedes driver this season, just because he's got more oval experience, and Mercedes is actually pushed harder in the R&D, and now they should be able to just have downright faster cars. So definitely pay attention to that Mercedes team this season to at least be a little bit further up the field, hopefully around the midfield there, because Hamilton had a really rough debut season in the NASCAR Cup Series here as we came through to start this final lap of the second stage. To the back of that AlphaTauri driver of Brandon Jones, we look to the inside of him now. Red Bull, they're going to be using that AlphaTauri team all season long as an important asset to them, because they know how important it is to have a teammate, and now they finally have that now in a little bit of a different form than your usual team, but they still kind of have a teammate now as we come through turns 3 and 4 on this final lap of the second stage. Kyle Busch, last season's champion, out in front as we exit turns 4, right on the back of the 23 of Bubba Wallace in that 23-11 car. We make a 3 wide with him and Todd Gilliland in the Mercedes down the front straightaway through the tri-oval, crossing the line. It's not going to be a top 10 here in stage 2 either. We get P16 as we've been spending these stages, the end of these stages specifically, clawing our way through the field trying to get into the top 10, and both times it does not happen. So a little bit unfortunate with that. Now as you look up front, Kyle Busch wins stage 2. Tony Bradinger up there in P2, a rookie, and then Zane Smith, Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. round out your top 5. Another rookie there of Gutierrez in the top 10 as well. Christopher Bell, though, rounding out the top 10 as we're going to come back into the pit lane, put 2 cans of fuel on the car, 4 fresh tires, and we're going to get ready to go green for the start of the third and final stage of our final Daytona 500. Fortunately, we gain a spot on the pit lane and actually get up into P15, which puts us on the preferred inside line as the green flag is back out, and just 16 laps remain here in the opening race of this final season of our career mode. So we got plenty of time to still work our way forwards, and of course the fuel situation is close, but if it stays green, we will have to come into the pit lane under green flag conditions, of course. So now definitely stay tuned for that, because we've had a history of completely screwing up green flag pit stops with maybe pitting too early, pitting too late sometimes even, and then I have a history of just speeding into the pit lane as well. And my speeding penalties have not only carried over from career mode, I do it in iRacing sometimes. I've also had a history of getting speeding penalties in the Nitro Racing League. So I got to find a way to slow it down on the pit lane a little bit more now, as I feel like I'm way too aggressive trying to get into the pits, trying to gain more time than I need to be gaining here as we came through out of turns 4. You see how much ground we lost to our Hendrick teammate of Alex Bowman, and keep in mind, last season of the career mode, we were the only Hendrick Motorsports driver to win a race. Alex Bowman didn't win, Chase Elliott didn't win, Kyle Larson didn't win. We were the only one. Chase Elliott, he's been winless for 2 whole seasons now, by the way. Bowman won a couple races a couple of seasons ago in that 48. Larson, I think, won 1 or 2 as well, and then Elliott, like I said, has been winless for 2 whole seasons. So now that he's moved over to McLaren, he is very excited. It's going to be interesting to see what he is going to be capable of doing this time around now as we go down this back straightaway. And now we are moving up towards the top 10 in the closing 15 laps of this race. Kyle Busch continuing to lead the way. Zane Smith up in the mix. Joey Logano, Justin Haley now, as Logano had a chance to make the Final Four last season, and then of course came together with myself in Iowa, and his chances to make that Final Four came to a close. But now you see we're up to P7 here, but then the caution actually comes out with 14 laps to go. I could not find the reason for this one. I'm sure it was towards the back of the field, obviously. But we're going to come to the pit lane and put in some fuel and tires. So in this position before, I've taken no tires and we leapfrog everybody and go to the front. This time I decided to take 2 tires. And actually, I can confirm that was actually going to end up being the wrong call here, but we would actually end up losing positions instead of staying put where we were. So that was a bit of a surprise to myself there. As you see, Cole Custer looks like he was actually the reason for the caution there in that Kevin Harvick Incorporated team. So that 29 car will be the first DNF of the day here in Daytona now, as we drop 9 positions down to P16. So we were finally up into the top 10, and we make an error on the pit lane there with the wrong call as the green flag is back out, and that will give us 10 laps to go here from Daytona, right behind that 23-11 driver of Bubba Wallace. A breakout season last season for Bubba. He won 3 races there, and they all came in the last, half of the season, or I guess you could say last, 15 races or so. So he was very strong, and definitely expect to see him just as strong this season here now, as we lose a little bit of ground there to that 23 DoorDash Toyota Camry, but as we come through out of turns 2, we're going to be able to close right back up on him now, and unfortunately we kind of get stuck right here, so we're going to have to look for our opportunity very quick to get to the inside. Alex Bowman up there in the mix. Would be very cool to just see a Hendrick Motorsports car in general get the win here today. If it can't be us, hopefully maybe Bowman or Kyle Larson or the 25 of Ryan Blaney, who is still in this race. He hasn't really been up in the mix here today. Now as we exit turns 4, right on the back of our Alliance teammate of William Byron. Now as we've got some help from behind with the Mercedes front row driver of Todd Gilliland here now as we go down this front stretch. Now as I'm actually going to kind of cross over the 88 of Byron. He might be an Alliance teammate, but we're down to P20 with 9 laps to go. We can't waste any time, and you're going to see myself being aggressive now, making it 3 wide down this back straightaway with this number 12 car. And we got a McLaren there on the far outside of Chase Elliott now as we go down into turns 3. McLaren, 3 cars this season. Chase Elliott in the 9, Eric Jones in the 7, and Sam Mayer in that number 66 car. So as we exit turns 4, though, we're going to be able to move our way forwards here now as we just continue to claw our way back to where we were earlier. Now 8 laps to go, 3 wide in front of us. Logano, Bell, Haley Deegan there on the far inside now as we're going to get past Timmy Hill. We're going to get past our rival of Joey Logano, so we're not going to have to deal with Joey trying to wreck us, thank goodness. And then sure enough, up the inside of the 4 car through the tri-oval now with 7 laps to go, up into P9, now 8th, and sure enough up to P7 following the number 96 AlphaTauri out of turns 2. We cross him over, go 3 wide out of turns 2, then we take it in turns 3 wide, and we get past Brandon Jones, we get past our teammate of Alex Bowman, and now up the inside of Kyle Busch, we get clear of him as well, and up to P4 we go. We have a huge run right there, and we take the run to the inside of the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and get to the back of our teammate of Kyle Larson. Surprisingly, we're not draft partners, so Larson must actually not care for me very much. So now he moves to the outside to follow the leader of Justin Haley there in that Colleague Racing car, and that's going to allow me to go up into the runner-up 2nd place positions with help from Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 6. Now on the front straightaway, we're going to look to the inside of the 16, who decides he's going to just try and defend the outside line, and into turns 1 I nearly blow away our chance at taking the lead, but I get down to cover the 6 car just in time here as we come through out of turns 2, and look at us blow by the 16 with of course help from that 6 of Stenos in that NOS Ford Mustang here. So now with 5 laps to go, we are in the perfect position to win the Daytona 500, but it was not over yet. Kyle Larson with help from the number 12 of Chase Briscoe, his first race for Penske Racing, giving Larson a huge push. And I just thought back to just kind of the rule of thumb of Daytona: just stay on the inside. If you're on the inside, that is your path to victory here. And when we're trying to get our first ever Daytona 500 win, in our last chance to win the Daytona 500 in the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode, I was committed to the inside. Briscoe, though, continuing to push Kyle Larson down the back straightaway here with 3 laps to go. This time, though, I have not enough help from the 6 of Stenos. This time now, Kyle Larson, he's actually going to be able to get in front of us clear into turn 3. He comes down just in time, so now we're committed behind him for the time being. But then, with 2 laps to go, still not trying to waste any time. We got help from Stenos. Larson's going to come up to block, and this is our opportunity. We cross him over. Nice little switchback move on him there, but the 6 decides he's not going to go with me. He's going to go with Kyle Larson instead now, so we have to rely on that number 38 Mercedes to get here, because now I make a mistake. I clipped the apron a couple times, but thank goodness Todd Gilliland gets to our back bumper here as we go down this back straightaway, trying to move up a little bit there to side draft that 6 of Stenos as we go down this back stretch. Kyle Busch giving a big push to Stenos here as we go down into turn 3. It's been a spectacular Daytona 500, a huge crash earlier with Chase Elliott, who's even up in the mix in the top 10. Larson leaves the door wide open on the inside as we exit turns 4 and to the lead once again now, sticking to that rule of thumb with plate racing. Run the inside line, and it's paid off every lap so far. We've been able to get back out in front of Kyle Larson every time. So now the 38 pulls off of our back bumper, and now we're kind of hung out all by ourselves here as we go down into turns 1 on this final lap of the Daytona 500 for the final time in our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. And here comes the 5 of Larson. He's going to have some help at a turn 2 from that 6 of Stenos potentially, but we are going to have the Mercedes front row driver of Todd Gilliland. But look at the run Kyle Larson has immediately. I'm realizing I'm not getting enough help, so I go up to side draft. The 5 gets clear down the back straightaway, and he is long gone. And just like that, our chances to win have come to an end as we're 3 wide in the middle here between the 6 of Stenos and the 38 of Gilliland as we exit turns 4. We have been just swallowed up by the pack. Kyle Larson through the tri-oval is going to win the Daytona 500 as we come through to cross the line. Now is actually a crash in the background there. Gutierrez in the 43 goes around, but we finish 5th in the Daytona 500. We were about to win the race, and a huge run down the back straightaway ends up costing us the win as Kyle Larson was able to get clear. No words to describe that one. I felt like we did everything right up to that final lap. And I could have moved up to block the 5, but I mean, every time he had that run on the outside, we just maintained our line on the bottom, and it had worked every single time before then. Here's another look at that finish. We're going to slow it down a little bit here down this back straightaway. So Larson has a huge run coming on the outside. He doesn't have anyone connected with him. At first, I'm like, okay, we're going to be fine. We have help from the 38. But then I realized right here, no, we're not. That 5 has a huge run. I go up to side draft, and unfortunately, at that point, it was already too late. He was already clearing me by the time I got there. I could drop back down right there, but I didn't even consider it right there. I was just trying to stay in line with the 5, and by the time he gets to the inside, the 38 is up my left rear quarter panel. And even if I had stayed on the inside, the 5 car was too far out in front. We would not have been able to pass them now. So very unfortunate way to end it. Our last chance to win the 500 in this career mode. And we're going to go Daytona 500 winless through the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. And we were in position to make it happen. And I guess the only thing I would have done differently is went up and blocked the 5, which, like I said, we hadn't done beforehand, and it had worked on the inside. Very unfortunate all around, but as always, if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. I'd like to thank you all for the continued support throughout how many seasons we've done. Over 200 episodes of this career mode so far, and now we get this final season underway in a spectacular fashion with a huge crash with Chase Elliott, and I mean, a few incidents here and there, and a great finish as well on the final lap as a lot of stuff changed there. So once again, thank you guys for the support so much. I really do appreciate it, and hope you're excited for this final season of the career mode. Next time we go to Miami, 2 races at Miami this season, next episode, and for the finale at the championship race. So of course, I would like to say thank you to the Going Racing members on the channel of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Bubba Jr., Brett Durward, Dark Gungar Gaming, AJ Vasura, Russell Dixon, Kenneth Barnett, Dana9302, as well as King Matt XL. I appreciate you guys' support so much. Thank you once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.